Welcome back to the Battery Podcast. I'm Aiden,
And I'm Jack.
and we're coming at you a little bit late this week, but we have some extra time because of the holiday weekend, playoff games being on Monday. We're finally here for our preview of the first round, the quarterfinal game against the Carolina Chaos. So we got a rematch of the last week of the regular season, which the Cannons did win in overtime off a hockey slash
Hockey
goal
goal.
shot by Ryan Drenner. Probably not going to get the same result, at least as far as the winning goal. Don't expect too many more of those to go in. Um, but yeah, I think we're joined by
Michael.
Phil again from the Red Legion. So get his thoughts on how game one went. We got some injuries to talk about, some changing personnel, a couple dozen posts or so. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think we'll just kick it over to him.
let's do it.
And thank you again to Michael from the Red Legion for hopping on as we get ready for this playoff matchup in a couple days. Michael, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
All right. So I think we can just maybe just start with game one. Obviously didn't go the way you guys wanted ultimately in the result column, but a close game, especially with two players going down. Just what were your impressions after that
It,
OT?
I think it was just another one of those games like we discussed in the podcast. It was like if our team can score 12 goals, like we win. Like and
Yeah,
that's what it ended up being. It's like we needed a 12th goal or 11 actually what it ended up being.
yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, it hurts to have Blaze go down, obviously, and then Jack I think was out the second half pretty much.
yeah. They both were basically, I think, at some point in
Yeah.
the quarter.
So, but Austin Kelt's a good backup for
Oh yeah,
sure. He's got to be one of the best backups that you can have. Um,
absolutely.
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean I thought it went. I just if those goals, that'd be the important thing.
Yeah, you cut out for a second, but I think you were just restating your point that 12 goals
Yeah,
is
12
the
goals.
threshold. Yeah, I think we definitely felt that way on the Cannons end as well. Hitting, I think they hit 12 pipes, so uh, if a couple of those turn into goals, then we don't go to overtime.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully that doesn't happen again because that would really be a remarkable record for two games in a row. But yeah, we'll see. I think it'll definitely, I would definitely peg this as the lower scoring of the two semifinals we'll see. Um, and possibly lower scoring than the Green Berets and Navy SEALs before. I have no idea what their offenses and defenses will look like. Um, you know,
Military games got to be just an absolute grind.
yeah, I feel like it's definitely, it might be some of the hardest checks we see. I just don't know like
Hmm.
how well the guys can shoot. Like, did they all play at Navy and
Exactly. Yeah.
Army in college or not? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that I'm again, it's off topic to this, but I'm definitely excited to see what that game looks like. And those uniforms are sick too.
Yeah.
The
Um,
especially I love the frog of the Navy
Yeah. The
SEAL.
frog's fun too.
yeah,
I am I'm excited to see that live. That'll be cool.
yeah, this will be. I kind of like. It's very cool to see it live. I kind of also wish we could see it on TV because I feel like that'll be a really special like atmosphere as well. But
Hmm.
yeah, and I don't know
You
if
can
I
go
know
back and watch it on ESPN Plus.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Rewatch
we're,
it
we
exactly.
definitely, excuse me, we definitely plan on being there in person for that 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Be a long day at Gillette. So I think I mean another question I had is, obviously pretty neutral site out there in Salt Lake. Maybe you had some like other fans of what the home West Coast team were rooting for, or Western Conference team rooting for like the Eastern Conference just to, beat your rival. But obviously this will be a very pro Boston crowd, so it's really I would say the first home playoff game in PLL history. Are you worried about that affecting the atmosphere or the result of the game in any way?
Oh, I definitely I definitely fear home crowd advantages because I mean that's why I started doing supporter group stuff is, create that advantage, create the atmosphere, get the team riled up and ready to go and play for the home team. So kudos for you guys getting a nice extra weekend.
Yeah, we could not be more
Lucked out.
excited. Yeah, we've been
Yeah,
talking all year. We were like, we
honestly,
hope they don't get the bye.
Wouldn't
it's
that have been something?
it's funny how it works out though that not only are the Cannons playing in Gillette, but they're the highest seed of the teams at Gillette. So they're technically, like the best team hosting whatever this weekend.
Uh,
And then next weekend you have the Atlas as the highest seed on Long Island. It's kind of nice
Yeah.
how that all worked out for
Crazy.
the PLL. And then you
Yeah.
get to the
Scripted.
Yeah.
scripted. Well, and it's perfect then too because the Water Dogs aren't in
Yeah,
it, so
they're
you
not in
know
it.
that you're gonna get a true neutral site
Yeah.
championship game, just like the NFL. You got home and away all the way until the Super Bowl. Then
Yeah.
it's neutral site. Same thing with the PLL because
Yeah. I definitely think depending on the
Philly.
teams that are in it, like if the Water Dogs aren't going to be in it, but if the Atlas are in it, like I would think they'll have a good contingent. If the Whip Snakes are in it, there'll definitely be some people
Yeah.
coming from Maryland.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
I think I mean the Cannons will have some traveling, but I know I cannot get there unfortunately, on a regular weekend. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we're
get jealous of the
excited.
Northeast. I get
Yeah,
jealous of
How
you
close
guys.
we are.
Yeah, to all the venues up there.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
listen, as someone who has taken a train from Boston to Philadelphia, it doesn't feel close.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure that does.
I
Sir,
listened to a lot of podcasts that day.
uh, certainly
Uh,
closer than Carolina, though. I mean,
yep.
I feel like we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but you guys are the entire South.
Yeah,
That
pretty much.
that's that
Yeah.
is all of you.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I've met people that were from Mississippi and like
yeah,
all
That's
over the
so cool.
place.
that doesn't
Yeah,
surprise me. That's cool though.
Yeah, I wish
But
we like. I mean, we have like people who are fans of the Cannons from New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and whatever. But
yeah,
like Vermain to Vermont and Maine to Massachusetts versus Mississippi to Charlotte is like
yeah.
a very different scale.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah, and I think there'll probably be a team coming to Florida eventually, but and maybe Atlanta again. But yeah, it's very cool that you guys get that whole regional
More
representation.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Yeah. So, I mean, I think we got to talk about the big news that dropped, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? That,
Mm.
I assume had been in the works for some time, but the league chooses to announce it, a couple days before the game, maybe while people are already on their way traveling, is Jack Rowlett not going to be playing due to a late and high hit on Alex Verdaro in that Week 10 matchup. I honestly had forgotten that this hit had happened. Um, I
I
wasn't
don't
able
think
to.
I ever saw it.
Oh yeah, because you didn't watch the. Yeah, you just saw the highlights later, which
Yeah. So, and they only post the goals essentially. So that came out of nowhere to me because that wasn't something that I had heard about. They talked. I knew Rowlett got hurt, but I was like, wait, what do you do?
yeah, which was funny because I know we had talked about like after that game, like you think Reardon's probably going to be fine, like that hit that he took and the sensitive area hurts in the moment, but ultimately should be okay. But Rowlett with a concussion, you never know.
yeah.
Um, and now we know, he won't be for different reasons. So.
Right.
Did you have any like when you saw that hit live? Were you worried at all? Did what was your thought when you read that announcement? Um, you know, we mentioned scripted, Rabel being a Cannons player in the past. Like, yeah, just take us through your
uh,
your reaction.
Live, I probably felt like they did on TV on the broadcast is like they were like, whoa, like what the heck happened
Yeah.
there? But then it was like to me when they like showed slower angles and stuff like that, like I was glad that I felt like he hit the shoulder and
Yeah.
they like broke and rode up and then hit the neck and head, which that to me just became unfortunate. I didn't feel like he was going for him there.
No,
So
it wasn't a head hunting
yeah,
thing.
and I know I saw people saying like, oh, he ran from the 2 point line, but when I'm watching it, I'm like, Bowen's not beat when he starts running. he's running to, I think it was Drenner, who was in the middle, who was wide open because no one else was sliding to him.
Yeah.
So he was running to Drenner at first, and Bowen just happened to get beat as he was getting there, and then he just comes and tries to do like the whole "don't come into the crease area" kind of thing. That's what I felt like it was. I didn't, because I have seen Jack hit a couple, like throwing a little bow a little high, but this one didn't feel that way. It just felt like I'm trying to get there because it's a close game and
Yeah.
it's our playoffs really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the height difference between the two of them isn't drastic. I just looked that up now. Rowlett's 6'1", Vardaro's 5'10". Um, maybe a little, like, we've seen him in person. Maybe he's actually 5'9", but like it's not drastic. But Rowlett was pretty
Yeah,
extended.
yeah.
I do think you're right. Like the initial point of contact was right at the top of his shoulder. I wonder if his stick hadn't broken, like, because you're right, it
If you would have
rides
just
up.
kept pushing him,
Well, I think it still would have rode up, so it honestly might have been worse if he'd gotten
yeah,
that full cross
probably,
check to the side of the head
yeah,
versus, the break. I'm sure it didn't feel good on Verdaro's shoulder, but it
yeah.
it did, it didn't meant he didn't take that cross check to the head. Ultimately we're glad everyone's okay.
It's tough
Yeah,
though too when I mean I think they reviewed it on the game day, like,
yeah,
and
two
then went to
minutes.
2 minutes unreleasable, right? And
Yeah.
so then
Which
to go again and review it again and then say someone's suspended from it.
Yeah, and the example I can think of off the top of my head is Ian McKay against the Whips, where he punched Brendan Krebs on the side of the head.
Yeah.
I think after the whistle, like after the play was over, and then the same thing happened. It was a 2-minute unreleasable, and then you get suspended one game. I don't think it's entirely fair to categorize those two plays the same, because obviously punching is not acceptable in a way that cross-checking is not. Or a way punching is more unacceptable than cross-checking is what
Okay.
I mean to say. Um, Jack and I were texting about it yesterday. Like, we're not sad that Jack Rowlett's not playing.
It's a shame.
Yeah, but you do want, like, you don't want to win. And we saw this in the champ series too. Like, if Sowers goes down 90 seconds in, Cannons wind up winning. Like,
Yeah. If
oh,
you have
Jack,
that
you're
feeling,
muted.
Sorry, I forgot I muted myself. It is a little bit different though. I
Yeah,
think in terms of you always want to, it's most fun to win when both teams are at their peak. So, like to your point with Champ Series, like Michael Sowers gets injured, he goes down. That stinks. You don't want to wish ill
no,
on the other team and benefit off of an injury. This is just, you can say, we can have an argument, should he be suspended, shouldn't he be suspended? Was it intentional? Was it not? But at the end of the day, it technically is Jack's fault.
yeah,
Like he did it to himself. So it's like it's not like, oh damn, Michael Sowers got hurt, I feel bad for him. It's like, well, don't hit him and then you get to
yeah.
play.
And I'm sure Brian Holman wasn't calling the disciplinary committee saying, don't you think Jack should be suspended? That was really dangerous.
you want to
Like,
I
relook at
hope,
that. You want,
yeah,
yeah,
hopefully not.
no,
Yeah.
no, I don't think
that's
that's
what I
ever.
think. See, it's weird when we say it, like, being announced, just a couple of days ago now, and if we had a game the next week, like, what would have taken that? Like, would it have taken that long, or what would have happened then? Like,
Yeah, I think maybe the reason was just like so many of these guys like go on vacation on their bye weeks. Like maybe Jack was just like deep sea fishing or something and couldn't get on Zoom.
everyone was just
I
gone for a while.
yeah, honestly, I'm sure that there must be, I'm pretty sure there is some sort of like Zoom hearings that they have to go through when this kind of stuff happens. And
Yeah,
so,
because I'm sure he appealed as well too. I'm sure.
yeah, that,
So I understand them re-reviewing it again, but
on the,
like if we would have been playing last weekend, like,
yeah,
would they
they
have been
probably,
suspended, or would they have been still going through a
Yeah,
process?
I think
So
we would have had a decision that what
just
24th, 25th is last
quicker.
weekend
Yeah.
if there'd been games.
yeah,
Yeah.
I still think our defense is pretty strong. I think we've shown some depth from guy like Jack Posey is a guy that
Yeah.
they always talk about, like, spends his own money to get to games when he doesn't even have to be there just so he's a part of the team.
Mm.
Um, so I feel like there's lots of depth there. I
Yeah,
know Jack's a
I
good
think the PLL is a little different just with how small the rosters are and how few teams there are, where especially in comparison to like the NFL or even NHL, MLB, like the difference between the like if you take a starting NHL player like defender out, that's like, probably a top 50 player and you're replacing him with a top like 200 player.
Mhm.
Whereas the PLO, Jack's what, a top five defender, and you're replacing him with a top 50 defender, which is like the drop in talent, I think, for anyone coming out. And we see so many undrafted guys like Logan McGovern this year, Jack Van Overbeek, like
Yeah.
naming guys on the offensive side, but that people can come in off the street, not off the street, but like their first career game, and put up great performances. And I think that's probably a little bit easier for offensive guys to do than defensive, just because there's just the nature of the game. But especially, it's guys who have been part of the team all year that I don't think there'll necessarily be as much of a drop off as maybe we're imagining or hoping. Uh, but obviously, Jack Rowlett is a kind of an irreplaceable
Yeah.
presence. Um, and we briefly touch on, I think it's Ryan McNulty is now coming into the lineup officially to replace him.
Yes.
I just looked him up a little bit. 3 games this year. Did you have any strong impressions or feelings about him based on that, relatively small sample size?
I wouldn't say strong or anything, but a lot of times with the way the defense plays, I really don't pay attention to most of them
Yeah,
because like I'm more worried about like what is our offense doing and what can we do there
it's
rather
true.
than
That has been where
the
the
defense
problem
has
comes.
just shown like okay they're gonna do they've been doing their job pretty well. I
Yeah.
think it was like only that I think the Atlas only scored was the only one that scored like 15 goals on us.
Mhm.
So I mean I just hope he's ready to go.
Yeah. I'm sure staying fit. I think
Yeah.
his last one was August 2nd, which would have been what, week 9? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so not too long. And yeah, I guess we'll see. Like obviously yeah, like I said, he's been part of the team all
Yeah.
year. So yeah, hope he's ready to step up. And Jack, it's funny you substituting one Jack for another. Um
Yeah. I've kind of been interested. I was interested to see that like Eric Dobson hasn't been on as much
yeah,
because I thought he was going to come in and kind of be that like younger Perkovic,
right.
Mhm.
come in and lay some hits.
I mean, he is coming in from Notre Dame though, so just like Pat
Everyone can
Kavanaugh
look
has
good.
well, that could be it, but I
Yeah.
was thinking more along the lines of just Pat Kavanaugh was hurt, not really himself. We're starting to see him grow into it. It could be the same thing with Dobson, that he's just so worn down from
True.
the long, grueling season that they had that who knows, he could be a totally different player next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just double checking the roster. So it's the same one as week 10 with the sub for, McNulty for and no Dobson, which
Mhm.
did
Yeah.
you have any thoughts? Like again, obviously they didn't score the 12 goals that the magic number. But were you hoping to see any changes from that week 10 roster or week 11, however they're calling it, whatever, to
Uh, I
the
don't
game?
I don't believe so. I mean, it feels like it was a good, strong team. Obviously, um, it's like I see the clips of some plays that work so well with like the picks and the more of a two-man game that we
Yeah.
kind of said we were going to go away from. But like every time we see it occur randomly in a game, it works out so well. And I'm like, can we just do it a little bit more?
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean some guys like Minikis and Scott are just so like just people aren't fast enough to keep up with them.
Yeah,
And like I don't feel like Henningberg out of the midfield is exactly where he's best, but you definitely want Scott or Minikis at X instead of him. Um, and yeah, Knobloch has been great.
yeah.
That
And that's
he
where I want to see. That's where I do want to see the box stuff is like the off ball movement.
Yeah.
is where those guys, they're most likely going to beat their guy, and
Hmm.
someone's going to slide. You need to have someone like cutting through the middle.
Yeah.
They're going to be wide open because there's been those plays where, like, I think Ian McKay had a pretty easy goal right in the middle a couple weeks ago or something. And it's like he's getting that move when someone's beating their guy, especially those guys that are so fast, and there's going to be a slide for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to slide because you can't. No one. I don't think anyone on the Cannons can keep up with them.
I think I saw too many times where we're trying to we like dodge, don't really get anywhere, redodge, and then it's like you just wasted so much time.
Yeah. And especially if you have the 32, like you can't afford to do
Yeah.
that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah, I think the team's pretty solid. I think I keep joking around like, Towers. The whole season's like preseason.
oh yeah,
Preseason's over. He knows his team, and now it's time for the real stuff.
Well, it
absolutely.
was
Yeah.
interesting. I was reading um Chris Rosenthal's preview of the game on Inside Lacrosse this morning. And other than 2019, every year that the Chaos have made the playoffs, they've had a losing record, or at least didn't have a winning
Yeah,
record.
we're
So
always
it's
we're
like
always at the bottom.
they just stumble their way into the playoffs and then turn it on and figure it out.
Yeah. In 2019, they peaked way too early. They were 7-3. They were the bomb squad. And
Yeah.
then other teams figured out how to stop those twos in transition. And I think they lost round one
And
to,
then they were what, 2-8 when they won it all in 21.
yep.
Yeah.
So
They were 0-4 in 2020 when they in group play and made it to the championship.
yeah, so
I
Yeah.
think Andy
not so
Towers
bad.
has said it a couple times in post game interviews. Is seeing what works, seeing who works well with each other. So
Yeah.
now it's the real
Fair.
season now.
Yeah. It's a bit of a playoff cliche to like throw the records out, but with Andy Towers, like it does not mean
It doesn't mean a
anything.
Really.
thing. Yep.
Yep. 10-0 versus 0-10. Well, 0-10, you don't make the playoffs, but 10-0
Unless
Yeah,
versus
I
there's
understand.
unless
Yeah, I
there's
get it.
multiple 0-10 teams, I guess that doesn't work though because everyone plays each other.
yeah. Yeah. You could have two 1-9s, I think.
Yeah,
But yeah, it really like he does not care. It doesn't matter. Everyone's record is 0-0. Um,
yeah,
all you got to do is go 3-0 or 2-0 if you're the Allison Archers.
right.
Yeah, this is I said before we started recording, like I'm so scared because I know exactly what this chaos team is capable of. Um, and we're gonna be there in person. It's the first semifinal, and it's gonna absolutely ruin my day if they do not win. Especially because we got to stay there for another game afterwards that I'm pretty sure the Whipsnakes are gonna win. So yeah, I just
No,
Oh,
we
unless
don't need
unless
any of that negativity,
unless
Aiden.
Brendan O'Neill really shows up for the Outlaws.
yeah, and man, I hope he does. If he can do what he did to the Archers in that first game,
That was
uh,
crazy. That was crazy for me to be in person there.
oh
Like
my,
you just
yeah,
felt
that's
it.
so
You
Charlotte.
felt
Oh,
you
that's right.
felt you felt the buzzing. Like it was
Yeah,
like there was a lot of people that left because it really became like, the Carolina place. So our game was over. So
yeah,
a lot of people had left, and that game just started going, and you could just feel people just murmuring like something's happening here. Like, and he just get the ball, and it's like, oh, he has the ball. And it was
I
it
know.
was
At
just
what
crazy
point
to
were you
feel
like,
that.
oh my God, I think they're gonna do it?
It was like when there was like five, they were five behind. I think I was like, they can do this. Like they're gonna come back.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. So I couldn't
It's
imagine like if it was like one of our teams like doing something
mhm.
like that. I couldn't imagine what those stadiums would be like.
Yeah,
To be
Oh,
like coming
yeah.
back from like 8 down or something.
yeah, if something like that happens, I mean, I don't think the Chaos are gonna score enough
Well,
goals
no,
to just to come back from behind by 8. But yeah, if they even if they're behind by like 2 in the third and they come back to take the lead, like that is gonna
yeah,
be electric.
yeah, that would be
Well,
fun.
we were down by 3 or 4, I think, to the Dogs in the
Yeah,
second half, and you could
definitely.
feel that energy just shift as we
Yeah,
Yeah,
chipped away.
that's the
it
stuff I
was.
love. That's like that's insane to me. It feels amazing to
Yeah,
me.
it's so good.
Yeah,
Like
it,
I
yeah,
rewatched that clip of yeah, because right, they were down by the Holman 2-pointer tied it at 7, then the Chaos or the Water Dogs went up
Dogs.
10-7.
Yep,
And then Verdaro finally scored to make it 11-10 Cannons, the first lead of the game in I think the third. And
yep.
the roar of that crowd was one of the best feelings I've had all year.
Yeah.
Uh,
Surreal.
yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be like that for every goal in the playoffs. I
Yeah.
know,
Well, that's
especially
what I've always told people too. It's like, I mean, I know they're playing at Gillette, but like being in those smaller stadiums always feels good when you have people close together.
yeah,
Because
Mhm.
even if you have like 4 or 5 thousand people, they all breathe that energy off of each
Yeah.
other.
oh for
It's
sure.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. Like at Harvard, they only sell the one side. I think at
Yeah,
Gillette,
yeah,
they
I
sell
saw
the
that.
one
Yeah,
side too.
but it still
Mhm.
looked more compacted. It didn't feel like people were
Right.
spreading across.
Right.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I would love for the PL to get to a point where they can sell all
Oh yeah, oh for
whatever
sure.
1,000. Um, but yeah, yeah, that Gillette feeling is going to be great. As long as we're all packed in. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I cannot wait and celebrate. Hopefully, many goals.
No, thank
Yeah,
God,
let's
no
go,
goals.
Cannons.
Yeah, I did just want to ask one more thing. Is we saw James Riley play his first game for the Chaos this year when I think exactly 50%. He's back in again this weekend. Or were you? I imagine you felt pretty neutral about that. I mean, to go 50% against Tucci, no offense to Tucci,
Oh yeah,
obviously
yeah.
you're probably hoping for a little bit more. Um, do you wish Nick Rowlett had come back in? Do you like any strong feelings there?
It's tough there because I mean Nick's gone between like what 30 and 40% kind of thing,
Yeah,
so it's tough. Um, I know being part of this team, I know they love the players and being with Andy, Coach Towers, but yeah, I I want so bad to have one of these other guys sometimes or get a
yeah,
nice 60% because I feel like our offense can handle 32 seconds if they
yeah,
would play a little bit differently than
yeah.
just the dodging.
But
But yeah,
if you put Nardella, Baptiste, or Erlin on any other team, like
oh yeah,
their offense just gets such a huge
it
boost.
just
I think
changes.
especially Baptiste and Nardella. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially
I
if you
don't.
can be efficient on
Yeah, as
that
long as you
32
can.
seconds.
Like I know the Atlas this year in training camp were like trying to figure out strategies for like resets and whatever. And then I think at some point I heard Xander Dixon say in training camp, Jeff T was like, guys, I think 32 is just enough time for us. I think we're good.
Well, I
And
mean, guys like Jeff Teat playing in
yeah,
box, I mean, they get 30 seconds.
right.
I
Which
mean,
feels so fast a lot of the
yeah,
time in
yeah.
box.
I mean, I know they're playing, I mean, it's a little smaller, a little more confined,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, 30 seconds. So I think a lot of these box guys are like, we can do this on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I definitely think the Cannons have, they don't necessarily get the bulk of the possession off the faceoffs every time, but they've definitely optimized, I think, their offense, especially, with Asher being such a great passer, Holman such a great shooter,
Yeah.
Kavanaugh doing it all. Um,
Hey, you could have had Baptiste still, though, if he would have stayed a Cannon and didn't leave for the PLL
yeah,
in the
well,
I
I
first
think,
place.
remember that.
yeah, well,
Wasn't he a Cannon?
he
That
was.
one
They
Yeah.
year.
they traded Joe Nardella to the Blaze to pick up Trevor Baptiste to draft him
Yep.
first overall. He and Paul Rabel are the Cannons' only ever number one overall draft picks, which is a good
Two
report.
pretty good lacrosse players.
Yeah, I
I'd
would.
Yeah,
say
yeah,
they were
yeah.
worthy of being number one
Oh yeah.
selections.
Yeah,
I
they
would
made the
take
right
Trevor
decision on
Baptiste
both
for
of those.
sure.
Yeah.
I wonder if PLL was like the thing with when Trevor was drafted. Like would the face-off person be as like wanted? Like would they be picked number one kind of thing?
That I was just thinking that it's so wild that a Fogo went number
Oh
one,
yeah,
but Trevor is just so
so good.
special
Yeah,
and so different that if any Fogo were to go number one, it makes sense for him. Just like Liam Entman, if this wasn't the generational
Oh
class
yeah,
that we
he would have
had,
been a goalie
Liam
probably going number
Entman
one.
is an arguably number one draft pick as well.
yeah, for
Like,
sure. And I mean, we saw Gavin Adler the last year, so it definitely doesn't have to be an attackman
right.
every year. Um,
It's just we know that they always get the glory. You know,
oh yeah, yeah. No, what people care the most about for sure is the guy who's gonna
score.
score the
Score the
most
most
points.
goals. Exactly.
But giving up the fewest goals also a great way to win a game.
True.
Exactly. That's why the chaos can do it.
We'll see.
Yeah, as long as Blaze Reardon wears a cup in this game,
maybe 2.
Yeah, no, ooh,
double padding.
I don't think that would help actually.
Just feel like put some wrap around bubble wrap
Yeah,
around that
or an
guy.
extra
Football
long chest
pants.
protector.
I saw. Wasn't that on PLL trivia that? Not
They're
maybe
allowed to
not
wear
anymore.
football
They're
pants.
they're allowed to
Yeah,
wear football pants.
Yeah.
Maybe Blaze wants to try that out. Just get a whole girdle going.
yeah. No, what he wants is the hockey pants because those have pads built into
Oh
them,
Oh,
yes.
that's
bigger
what he
pads.
needs. He needs
Yeah,
hockey pants. Yeah, yeah.
he kind of plays like a hockey
Uh,
goalie anyway.
True.
Yeah, he's like the only butterfly goalie in lacrosse, which is it's
Yeah,
pretty cool to see, and obviously it works.
which is
yeah.
interesting because he doesn't play goalie in the NLL.
Yeah, and I don't know if he played hockey growing up. I mean, I assume he did, or at least watched
Probably.
a lot of it.
I mean, where's he from? I know he played at Albany, so
I think he's
he's a
from
northern. He must be a northern guy. Let
yeah,
me
Blaze
Google that.
Reardon, Fairpoint, New York, which is it yeah, it's near Rochester.
Gotcha.
Okay, so he very well might be a hockey guy,
Yeah, for sure. Um, for probably a
but
Buffalo Sabres fan, poor guy.
unfortunate. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I think that probably
there you have
wraps
it.
it up. I mean, do you have any parting thoughts? Like, I mean, we talked about the Chaos got to score. Like, they win if they score 12 goals.
Yeah,
I think the same is probably true for the Cannons.
Mhm.
probably.
Yeah, we,
I think, yeah, what it boils down to for me, I think, is Chaos want this to be a low scoring slugfest. Cannons want this to be an offensive shootout.
yeah. I say
And whichever way
Cannons.
it leans more, that team is, I think, more likely to win.
Yeah, like you said, they win if they score 12. I say Cannons win, yes, if they score 12, but if they get two or more two-pointers, I don't think
Oh,
they're,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about we didn't say it on the episode with him, but we had Matt Campbell on last week. We saw some great offensive outputs of guys after they come on the pod. We'll see. Is this going to be a
Does Campbell
if it's
go
a 4 point
off?
day for Campbell? Then I'd say that the Cannons. Been a while since he's gotten a two. We'll see if that happens. Reardon's not the but he did get the hockey assist on the winner, right? Like he takes the shot, rebound off Reardon, Drenner for
Yeah.
Yeah.
that counts as an assist in hockey.
That
I think
going in, that ball going in.
I know. I still can't quite like you can't quite track it. I don't think the frame rate on the camera is good enough, but it definitely hits count. Like it's
Yeah.
Drenner whacks it. I think I don't know if it hit Count's stick and then his body or whatever, but that was yeah, that's a
But
weird.
when you watch defenders, because I in soccer I played goalie, and like you see that ball that you think it's right there, but it's so far away from you, it's in slow motion.
Yep.
I know
Mhm.
those defenders that were right there on the side of Cout were just
Yeah.
watching it roll on in.
Yep. Wish we had a 7 foot pole.
Oh, that was tough.
Uh,
I wonder if we'll
yeah,
ever see that of poles being more than 6 feet. That'd be
I
I
doubt
just
it.
don't think so.
no, I don't think so either. Like unless
Yeah.
humans evolve to be significantly taller, it's
If
not.
if anything, they'll
It
go
would
down to
get
5.
shorter.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they would go down to like a 5 foot
Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
so that it creates more offense.
Yeah.
right.
Oh, Rowlett or not Rowlett. Scott Ratliff talked about cutting a couple inches off of his for a few years just because he's a little bit under 6 feet. And he's like it was more psychological than anything, but it just, makes it a little easier to handle. And obviously he had some of the
Interesting.
greatest offensive seasons by a pole ever.
Yeah,
They literally put him
interesting.
out there on, I think, like Pacino, they put him out there on the power play.
I want to say that both of our teams defensive middies are very good where it will hold the 2 pointers down again still.
Yeah. I would say the Cannon's probably best chance to get it to is with one of our D mids in transition. Like we saw
Yeah.
Trainer get one,
Yeah.
or Trainer dish to Holman to get one. Like I think
Mhm.
obviously like Campbell or Drenner in a step or Islanian in a step down is a great
Oh
way to
yeah.
get
Oh
one.
yeah.
But just given the nature of like a fast break.
Islanian's playing down low this week though, so don't know if he's going to get any step downs.
Well, they listed 4 guys at attack now,
So
so
I think I think Islanian plays down low and Cav comes out of the box.
yeah,
That's what they've
they'll
been
probably
saying is
switch
that
a little bit.
Cav
But
feel. Well, that's what I was reading though that Jim Jim Mitchell was telling Sarah that Cav said he feels most comfortable coming out of the box in this offense.
Yeah, because he is.
So I
I mean,
think
he is
that's
a
what'll
natural bright.
happen. Yeah.
So
So
that's yeah, that's interesting. And I know the comments yet again where is King Manny?
I
It just
know.
yeah,
I
you can't put
uh,
him in a playoff game for his first game of the year.
no, after talking to Brian before this last Carolina game, I have zero expectations of seeing him,
No.
but it still just breaks my heart.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Maybe yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But
Well, I wish I could get up there for to cheer against
Yeah.
you guys.
I wish that too. It'll be
that'd
so
be
much
fun.
fun. Like
It'll be cool when we get to that point.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really holding
Yeah.
out this dream of like that hopefully the two supporter groups who are in the championship will be able to get there. If it's like Maryland, New York, I don't no, that's not possible, I don't think.
Oh, I'm if we make it to
No.
Philly, I'm there.
All right.
Okay.
Uh, Hope you don't,
All
but
right.
I would love, yeah, love to see you in the crowd. And no, I of the Western Conference teams, it's you and the Outlaws are probably the favorites. Wait, no, that's not true. I like the Redwoods,
No.
but they're tough to
Archers.
watch. No, I like all the Western teams.
All the Western teams, they're great. They're great.
Yeah.
These
Whatever.
Eastern teams are garbage, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I
Pretty
can't
much.
root for Philly. I can't root for New York, and then the
Yeah.
Whips won the first two in a row, so kind of everyone hates them who's not a
Yeah,
Whips fan.
definitely. The
That's
entire
what's just
Western
it's just so
Conference.
fun being the East Coast team on the West Coast.
Yeah, that's another reason that the next two teams need to be in the Midwest so that it can actually balance out chaos control.
Balance a
Right.
little bit more. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
yeah,
But all right then.
yeah.
I
All
think
right,
that
this is a lot of fun.
yeah.
It's going to be just as much fun on Monday. So,
Mhm.
thank you again. Shout out your watch party for anyone who listening to this who happens to be a Chaos fan.
Yeah, we're gonna be at Brewers at 4001 Yancey. Uh, Different than our normal place, but we were able to find a place because our other place is closed on Mondays.
All right,
So,
especially a
Well,
holiday
yeah,
Monday.
yeah. So
that's
four
right.
o'clock, we'll
Yeah,
be
can't
there.
Be
wait.
there.
Yeah, show up a little before. Or if you're a Chaos fan who lives in New England or New York, drive on up to Gillette.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
exactly.
Or if
uh,
you're a Cannons fan or
yep,
just a lacrosse fan in New England and you haven't bought your tickets yet for some reason,
Get them.
go to Gillette.
yeah. We'll link
Sit with
that
us.
our supporter group link in the description of this. Michael, this was a blast.
Yes.
Can't wait to have you on again next season whenever these two teams play again. Um, best of luck. May the best team win. I know it's going to be a great game regardless.
Oh yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys having me.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming on.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
And thanks again to Michael for hopping on. Always great chatting it up with him.
Yeah.
Just
So
really, really excited for
yeah.
Monday.
Yeah. I said I cannot wait. I'm also very nervous. But yeah, he's a great dude to talk about this team with. And also it's really cool to hear about the sports scene in another city that, doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily get the major love that a place like Boston or New York does. Uh,
Right.
we said like no MLB team for them, which feels kind of weird, but he's
It
so
really
talented.
does.
Yeah, they're gonna get one soon. I'm pretty sure.
If the MLB goes to 32, I think Charlotte, I think it should be, this is, I
Charlotte and
guess,
Nashville.
not the point. That's
No.
exactly what I was going to say. Charlotte and Nashville. I
Yeah.
would love to have every team be at 32 just for the perfect number of it. Like,
Yeah,
because
that'd be
I feel
nice.
like the NHL has it perfect right now where it's 32 and 16 teams make the playoffs and then you just whittle down from there.
Yeah.
I think if every team could just have 32 teams with 16 teams in each conference and it's just top eight and you whittle down, that'd be perfect. So
Yeah.
NBA needs two more, get us a Vegas and put a team back in Seattle. NFL stand pat.
Yep.
NHL is all good. MLB add Charlotte and Nashville, and then
PLL
PLL
24.
Paul Rabel, you need 24 new teams.
That is a
So
very fun
let's get on
offseason
that.
topic. Yeah. What 24 cities should they get the PLL next? Uh,
Uh,
yeah, that is that's a ways down the line. But
yeah.
yeah, so back to the initial point. Very cool to hear about the sports scene in Charlotte. Not so much the Panthers, but we talked about the chaos. I think they're going to be. I think they already are, but they're going to be so loved by that city. Um,
Hmm.
especially you wish they were there for that championship in 2021. I'm sure that would have been amazing. But the next one, as long as Towers is there, and you got that core guys. As long as Blaze Reedon's there, you got a chance to win a game. Which definitely scares me. But yeah, that's a I mean, it's a fantastic organization, fantastic coach, fantastic defense. So I think it's gonna be a nail biter. I definitely don't think it's gonna be a lopsided win one way or the other. I think some teams are probably gonna go on runs. Um, but I think we've said it, like the odds that the Cannons hit 12, 11, whatever it was, posts again, not great. So as long as a couple of those go in, as long as I find the right side of the
Yep.
post, the correct side, not the literal right, then I definitely like their chances of getting to that magic number 12. Um, and if the battery bump holds and we get Campbell a 2-pointer, then I feel really good about this.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
got a
cannot,
real good feeling about Matt.
yeah. I cannot wait. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere. I think, equal to or surpassing what we saw that night two of homecoming against Philly. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we said the first home playoff game in PL history. So
Had a
it's
little bit of it last year, technically.
oh yeah, for
That
sure.
Gillette crowd was extremely Boston heavy.
Yeah,
Obviously, that was the start of it, but obviously now it's the first one where there's a playoff game with the city
yeah,
attachment. So I guess like it was predetermined, so it's not the first home playoff game in the sense that, oh, we are the higher seed, we win, we earned
yeah,
the right to host, but it is it is quite literally the first playoff game of the city's time. So it is the first one where like it's in Boston when there is officially a Boston team.
right.
So
And then yeah, obviously the Atlas will get that next weekend. Uh,
right. But the Water Dogs won't get it in 2 weeks.
which I'm so happy about because obviously you don't want a team to have that home field advantage in a supposed neutral site game. But we don't have
Right.
to worry about that for at least one more year. Um,
Perfect.
cannot wait. Also, I think it's worth, teasing this now. We will have some merch to give away. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so we obviously we had the stickers and from homecoming, we still got some more of those. And we'll have some t-shirts. So we'll be doing, I think, some t-shirt tosses. Um, yeah, very, very cool. So like huge thanks to our sources at the league for hooking us up with that. Um,
Indeed.
I know once
Yeah.
we saw all that Rough Riders merch that Denver had, we knew we had to, we're not going to match them this time around, but we'll be ready,
We'll step
much
it
better
up.
equipped for next year.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then I think win or lose. I think we can also tease this now because it's been scheduled, confirmed. We will be joined for the pod next Thursday. So win or lose by Colin Kirst. So we will get to, hopefully we're celebrating a win, asking him how we shut down that amazing offense.
That
Uh,
would be great.
yep.
Hey,
Yeah,
you're
cannot wait.
exactly
Yeah, we had been in the works trying to get him to come on for a bit. Glad we finally nailed it down, and so we'll be getting a player reaction, pretty hot off the presses, I think.
Mhm. And
Um,
knock on wood, we get a W on
yep.
Monday, and then maybe Colin Curse next week. We get a little battery bump.
Yeah. First shutout in the PLL.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was just going to say. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe we'll see.
or I think the record low in goals in a game is I think
Four,
three.
3 or 4.
No, I saw the Archers beat the Redwoods 10-3 in Fairfield
Okay,
last year.
so
It was
maybe
so
two.
miserable. Yeah. Do we get a two? Can I see two? Um,
We'll see.
yeah. No, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves
We
there.
are. We got Carolina.
Yeah. So first of all, show up on Monday. Hopefully you all have work off. Um, even if you don't, it's a 4 o'clock start, so you can at least catch some of the game. Hopefully when you get home from work. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, we just cannot wait to hopefully see you all there. Make this, a dominant, oppressive atmosphere for that chaos team. Make them have zero fun, and hopefully, we like Michael a lot, but hopefully, send him and all the other chaos fans home sad. And then cheer on our boys in the Outlaws. I think you and I will be cheering for them for sure.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely not rooting for Maryland.
no, I think the Whips will have some fans in there, but I think of the neutral Boston fans, like the
It
real,
will be
uh,
Denver for
yeah,
sure.
I think so. Because how can you
Yeah,
not? Um,
right.
yeah. So we hope to see you all there. Thank you all for listening. Come say hello, grab a t-shirt, cheer on the
Grab a
boys.
sticker.
Yeah. And we'll see you on Monday. So
Yeah,
yeah, until then, go Cannons.
go Cannons.
Boom.
Boom.